Good day, everyone. Today we will be talking about lesson 2, which is about the Filipino man in the contemporary world. So, last meeting we talked about the contemporary world as a whole, the course description. It's the courses that are related to the contemporary world, the disciplines that are in one way or another related to it. It's formal and material object, and also we talked about briefly the contents or the context of globalization. So today we will also be talking about the Filipino man, as we have talked about bringing contemporary world in the Filipino or Philippine context. So in this lesson, we will explore the Filipino human nature as it was built in the contemporary world. As it says here, there is a Filipino human in the contemporary world. They can be described as either scientific and non-scientific man, and is also studying the different causes and reasons of why things are in the contemporary world. So what do we mean about this? We mean that the Filipino man, as any other human being, is also curious, very, very curious of the things that is happening around him. So he finds ways, make way to look for answers to these questions that we have. So who is considered a Filipino? So according to the Philippine Constitution, a Filipino is a citizen of the Philippines. According to the Article 3 of the 1935 Constitution, whose fathers and mothers are citizens of the land or elected to the Philippine citizenship. So for someone, para maging Filipino, kailangan munang their parents, their mom and dad are naturally born Filipinos too. Or what do we mean by elected here? We mean that someone had gone through the process of naturalization to be a Filipino citizen. So if you were born in the Philippines or you were from other country or just wanted to acquire Filipino citizenship, you will undergo what we call a naturalization process. And it's a long process, so there are a lot of requirements and a lot of things to consider for you to be granted the Filipino citizenship. So the Filipinos' values and attitudes are a product of colonial powers or intellectual colonialism. The one who ruled over the past centuries imposed their ideologies on them. Remember that we were colonized by a lot of countries. So start with Spain, US, United Kingdom, and also Japan. And we also traded with a lot of countries like China. So there's a lot of influences regarding our values, our norms, and attitudes. So these are what we call colonial powers or intellectual colonialism. So these values therefore will affect any actions that we make or the actions that or and attitudes that we have as of today. The Filipino is also by nature flexible in his philosophy. It can be bent depending on the situation, the place, the things, and the person he can be with or dealing with has the K factors. So next we will be talking about the most prominent attitudes or values or philosophies of the Filipino people regarding if we are dealing with a person or a place with the K factor, our attitudes may change depending on the K factor. So what are these K factors? These K factors are if you fall into this category, this kakampi, kalaban, kasama, kontra, kapamilya, kapatid, kasabwat, kasapi, kakaperahan, kamatayan, kakampihan, kabuhayan, kakalabanin, kasamahan, and kapatiran, and etc. So, depending on these K factors, mag-iiba or mag-change ang ating attitudes. So, it depends. So, let's take a look how this works. So, in the non-Filipino way and the Filipino way. So, if the event places things and persons of the K factor, it will depend into the Filipino way. And then back again as before. So, it really depends. So, kung kaaway o kaibigan, if it's your lover or kapamilya or kapuso, kaibigan or your kaaway, it depends. So first of these attitudes or values or philosophies are or is awareness is better than judgments. So what does this mean? It means that we do not judge the person because of his behavior, but simply let the person be aware of the rules, norms, and right standard of living. In a relationship, it is important to establish rules and regulations to put order in that relationship. So, if you go into a relationship, whatever that kind of relationship is, may it be friends, lovers, parents, families, children, parent to children, it has to set some rules. So, in order for you to understand each other, you have to set rules. So each of us, each individual, uh, lalo na sa Filipino or the Filipino man, we all have boundaries. And in order for other people to not cross that boundaries, we shall set those rules or regulations as to how you guys should go about in your relationship. So that is a one thing that is a must have whenever you guys try to go on into a relationship. So the non-Filipino way, as what we were talking about, awareness is better than judgment. So if the event, place, or things and persons have the K factor, it will bend. So judgment is better than awareness. This is the Filipino way. Judgment is better than awareness. We judge first since we do not know the rules, since we did not bother to know the rules or to set rules. That's why we turn into judging the other person first instead of making the relationship easier by setting rules in the first place. So that is what we mean by judgment is better than awareness. So we judge first rather than to know the other person or to know what the relationship is or what the situation is all about. So the next norm or the next value is honesty is better than pretending. So this means to be true to what you feel, what you think, and what you do, especially in your intention, the manner of acting, and the result of these acts. So in the non-Filipino way, of course, honesty is better than pretending. And then again, it will bend if we have, or the person you are trying to deal with, or kinakasama nyo, or you are interacting with, has the K factor. If it's kakampi, kaaway, or kalaban. Then in the Filipino way, pretending is better than honesty. So if we try to go back here, it says being true. So being true to oneself is that you do not hide anything from the other person. You stay true to what you are, to what you really are. So, for example, in a relationship, you do not try to impress someone by changing yourself. So instead, you try to show your true colors or your true attitudes, and you just make the other person accept you for what you are. So hindi ka nagbabago para sa kanya. Instead, someone who loves you will eventually stay and love you for who you are. Diba? So that is what we mean by honesty is better than pretending. So it does not only apply for people who are in a relationship. It also applies to your parents, the relationship to you. So if you're not being true to your parents, they would not also know what is happening to you. So how about you guys try to talk it out, like be honest with them, or simply tell them what's happening around you, what you feel about school, what you feel about your life, what you feel about your family, your situation. So, talking to them, sincerely talking to them, to whoever you are trying to communicate with, affects greatly your relationship. So, being honest is key to a successful relationship also. Not just in romantic relationships, but also other relationships also like friendship, your if you're already working, your relationship with your colleagues or your employer, that could be one too. And then another value or attitude is do not accuse, simply focus and give solution to the problem. meaning to address the cause of the problem, and it also means to focus to those actions causing the problem, to not end up accusing someone rather than finding solutions to the problem. But in the Filipino way, this is again bent with, if ever the one you're dealing with has the K factor, and this is turned into accuse, do not focus, and always give a problem. So that's like a bad way of putting it. So if we mean to do not accuse, we try to focus on the things that is causing the problem. So in a relationship, whatever kind of relationship it is, when you encounter a problem, you do not blame the other person or the other people in that relationship. Instead, you focus your energy or your thinking into what is causing the problem. And then try to think of what you can do to that to what is causing the problem instead of blaming the other person, because blaming other people would also mean another problem. So it is easier if you guys try to communicate it effectively with your partner or your parents or whoever you are with that in that kind of relationship. It is better to address the problem than to blame it on the other person. So another one is listening is better than controlling, meaning be a good listener to the other and not condemning. It is not dominating and it is not controlling. It is simply to keep quiet and to not argue. This is this could be quite particular with our parents, 'di ba? Since our parents, the Filipino parents can actually really be controlling. I don't know with the other, with your parents, but some parents or most of our parents can be controlling at some times. And then they will nag you about a lot of things, may it be small or big things. One time they will confront you about something and you kind of like feel like bursting out and talking back to them, but it says here that it is better to listen than to argue. So a relationship is a two-way process. It does not revolve around one person only. So whoever is being in control, they also should consider the other person too. Stop trying to control the relationship or stop trying to steer the relationship in your way. So try to confront your partner or your parents or whoever it is you are in a relationship with, to what things or what better things are you going to do to improve your relationship. So talk it out with them. I do not solely agree to this attitude, because if someone is not right about you, then what better thing should you do than to talk back? But it doesn't mean that you will talk back, that you will do it in a shouting form or in a loud voice. You do it in a calm manner so that your parent or your partner will also calm down. Of course, arguing is completely bad, but also showing your side, defending your side is not completely bad too. So remember to talk it out in a calm manner. So I don't know if you guys agree with this, but not arguing is also not a good sign of a good relationship for me. Since why would you just stand there or stay there not talking if clearly your partner or your parent is not making sense? Why don't you try out to why don't you try to voice out your opinion in a calmer and not non-callous way so that you get the point across to your parent or to your partner? Yeah, that's just my opinion. So I don't know about you guys, but listening thou is better than controlling. So if it is in the Filipino way, controlling is better than listening. So according to this, most of us daw, since this is in the Filipino way, most of us daw are fond of dominating in a relationship. So what happens if the both of you or the both parties in a relationship are trying to be dominant in the or trying to be controlling? So the relationship will be chaotic, of course. So it involves someone na magpaparaya o as what I've said earlier, a relationship is a two-way process. So, it's not just one person na palaging magpapakumbaba. So, it's better that you do it. Both parties do it. Another one is recognizing is better than ignoring, meaning you identify and know the situation, the place, the person, and the things happening around. Then be aware of it, yet not ignoring it. So the non-Filipino way is that recognizing is better than ignoring. So the Filipino way, on the other hand, is ignoring is better than recognizing. So depending if we have the K factor to that place, if we are kakampi or kaaway, if kaibigan or kapuso, if it is someone is close to our heart, whatever is happening to them or whatever thing that involves them, we will care. When a friend or a family member is being badmouthed by other people, our impulse tells us to intervene and to not stay put. So if kaaway naman or someone that we do not like, then we are better off ignoring things that are related to them. So you see, that is the Filipino way. We care so much a lot about the people that are in our circle, in our family, our friends. But if that person is not in our circle, then why do we care? Why would we care? So that is the Filipino way. Ignoring is better than recognizing. So another one is P, meaning peace is for each and everyone. Whatever it is, what future may be at stake, always give way for peace for the sake of peace. Be always peaceful and forgiving, or be at peace with everyone and everything. So that is the non-Filipino way. In the Filipino way, peace is not for each and everyone. So if the event or person that you are dealing with has the K factor, depending on what K factor, if it is on the good side or in the bad side. So remember the kalaban that is on the outside of our circle. So we don't care. So why would we make peace with you? So this is not completely true, because we simply ignore people who are not in our circle. So why would we care if we make peace with you or war? So it's not, we ignore this kind of people outside the K. For people inside our K, inside our circle, our friends, our family, whoever it is that we are in a relationship with, we make sure, as Filipinos, make sure to be at peace with them. That is the Filipino way. So now let us also talk about the different kinds of Filipino in the contemporary world. So first off, we have here the Greater Filipino. So who are the Greater Filipino people? So these people are after the common good that is universally good, no favoritism and familism, and always after the promotion of justice, equality and love of freedom and democracy, with that of the moral virtue and supernatural end. So this category of Filipino people refers to those people who are um, after the common good of most of the citizens. These are the people that are likely to be promoting good deeds or something in the literature or in the arts. Most commonly, these are people that are serving in the government or non-government sectors. So we have here an example. This is, of course, Mayor Vico Soto. So he's one example of those people who takes care of the citizens of the Philippines. So he is, for me, in the category of the Greater Filipino. Another type of Filipino in the contemporary world is the Lesser Filipino. So these are the Filipinos that are working as vendors, drivers, and contractual workers. Those of lesser degree in salaries received, and those Filipino who were victims of 40 years of inferior education, producing young graduates who are functionally illiterate. Not to be bothered by the term functionally illiterate, but These are the Filipino people who had their acquired their degrees, their college degrees, but ended up pursuing other course that are not related to their degree in college. Not to interfere with these categories, but some people also talaga they found out their other calling or their other likes when they graduate na. Sometimes what they like pala is not related to the course that they have pursued. So that's also not bad. As long as you want to do it, not anyone's forcing you to do it, then it's good. As long as you're happy, di ba? That is on the category of the lesser Filipino. Another type of the Filipino is of course, di mawawala, the richer Filipino. An example here, we have Manny Pacquiao for the richer Filipino. These are the Filipino with prospering businesses or establishments and other related wealthy positions in their vocation or profession. It is embedded with their love for their fellow men. Their wealth is out of good faith, not by drugs and other dishonest transactions or business involving illicit means. These are the people that truly thrived in their profession, just like Manny Pacquiao. He was first recognized in boxing, then later he was recognized in politics. And all those wealth that he had and everything he had, he earned it on his own way, not through illicit means like selling drugs or being in a mafia, just through his honest ways. So that is on the richer Filipino. And just like the greater Filipino, they are also after the good of their fellow men. So just like our example here, Mr. Manny Pacquiao is also helping a lot of people across our country and even in other countries. That is on the richer Filipino. Another one is the poorer Filipino. So when the Filipinos not finish the elementary, high school, and college education or degree, and always confronted with the 3D job, the dirty job, the dangerous job, and the demeaning job. These are our street workers, our street sweepers, anything that has to do with maintaining cleanliness. Parang we label it on the demeaning job. But not to be confused or not to be bothered by uh, being judgmental of these categories. So these people has a lot of contribution to our societies too. They clean our streets, our houses. So I don't consider them as a demeaning job. So I don't know about you, but these people also serves their part and they are very, very important in maintaining our society. So of course, we should also treat them with respect, just like we did with other people. Another type of the Filipino in the CW is the fortunate Filipino. These are the Filipinos who finished college level of education, then found a stable job for their own family and relatives as a way of material security and sustenance. So I think I am under the category of the fortunate Filipino since I have also just finished college and I've landed a job that would secure my material security and for the sustenance of my family. I don't own anything very expensive, so I'm still in this category, the fortunate Filipino. And the last one is the less fortunate Filipino. These are the people who beg for food in the streets. No house and home, stable of his own, no school degrees, no skills in trade and commerce. If ever they have work, generally, it is on collecting garbage as a source for money to buy food for the family. It is the typical dukha in the Philippine society. So these are the people that we commonly see in the streets, so they don't have houses, and these are the Filipino people that is often helped or is often the target of help by the richer Filipino and the greater Filipino. And in conclusion, after we have discussed all those attitudes and the categories of the Filipino people in the contemporary world, we can conclude that Filipinos truly are compassionate and loving towards their families, friends, and coworkers, regardless of their personality. So, di ba kanina, um, any attitude or value will bend to if we like the person, if they are part of our circle, if they are our family or friend. So that is one on being compassionate and loving. Filipinos are highly motivated and good at giving and getting input because they care deeply about their work. In other countries, sa ibang bansa, a lot of Filipinos are being recognized or are easily promoted in their jobs because they do good. And we are being recognized by other people in other countries too. Because when we work, we do them honestly and we do a great job in what we do, in whatever we do. So Filipinos are noted for their happy-go-lucky attitude. So whatever comes in our lives, we take it as it is and we make use of it. May it be problems or blessings. We remain happy and thankful for what we have. So those are the attitudes and values of the Filipino people and the categories of the Filipino people. And please do not mistake the categories regarding the Filipino people. Those are the things that are defined only in book. So do not discriminate other people regardless on who they are or what they do and what kind of things they have. So treat people with respect regardless of those. So for this lesson, we will also be having a lesson activity. I will be sending to you the Word file of the activities. So please send your finished output to my email ad. This email ad, it could be in a Word document or PDF form, and do not answer any activities that were not assigned to the class yet. Answer only those that I am giving to our content lessons. So for this activity, the directions and contents are already in the file. So I will send it to you guys later on our messenger or in our group chat. So that's all, and thank you for listening and have a good day.